All right, let's talk about something that I think almost all of us feel, but maybe can't quite put a finger on. We're going to unpack this really powerful idea about why so many of us feel kind of stuck, stressed out, and just overwhelmed, Even when, on paper, life should be better than ever.
So let's just dive right into this central mystery here. I mean, it's a weird feeling, right? We have all this incredible progress, all this technology. So why does just getting through the day often feel like such an uphill battle?
And this is the paradox of our time. It's wild when you think about it. On the one hand, we are living in the safest, most comfortable, most information-rich period in all of human history. Period. But has that actually made us feel more at peace? For so many of us, the answer is no. In fact, it seems to have led to more stress, more anxiety, and this constant nagging feeling of struggle. Something just doesn't add up.
Okay, so to figure out what's gone wrong with us, maybe we need to find a baseline for how life is supposed to work. And, the best place to find that blueprint is always in the natural world.
Just think about it for a second. Animals in the wild, entire ecosystems, heck, even our own bodies, when we just leave them alone, they all work with effort. Of course they do. A lion has to hunt. A tree has to push its roots through the ground. Our cells are constantly repairing themselves. But they do it without that persistent internal mental struggle that seems to define the modern human experience. They're literally designed to find balance and thrive all on their own.
And let's be really, really clear about something here. This is not about pretending life is supposed to be easy. No way. Difficulty, challenge, pain, those are just natural parts of being alive. The problem we're talking about today is different. It's the dysfunction. It's the chronic stress, the endless worrying, that feeling of constantly resisting life as it's happening. And that part, well, it turns out that part might not be natural at all.
So if this constant struggle isn't natural, where did it come from? Well, here's the fascinating part. It's not a personal failure. It's not that you're broken. It's much more like a system error, a glitch in our operating system that's been running for a very, very long time.
For most of human history, we ran on instinct. It was our primary guide, a super fast, responsive system designed to deal with reality right here, right now. But then something huge happened. The evolution of complex language. Suddenly, thought allowed us to plan, to cooperate, to imagine futures that didn't exist yet. And over thousands of years, that amazing tool, well, it quietly took over. To the point where today, for many of us, the story playing in our head feels more real than our actual direct experience of life.
And this quote right here just nails it. This is the fundamental shift. We stopped responding to the world as it is, and we started responding to the world as we imagine it to be. A world full of what-ifs and maybes and 1,000 potential threats, all built out of language.
So now we're getting to the core of it, the actual mechanism that explains that paradox of modern life we started with.
It's called the story trap. And listen, this is the most important part to get. This is not a psychological flaw. It's not a weakness. It is a biological mismatch. Your nervous system, the ancient hardware you're running on, literally cannot tell the difference between a real tiger in the bushes and a vividly imagined story about getting fired next week.
So how does this trap actually snap shut? It's basically a four-step chain reaction. First, your mind uses language to create a story about a future threat. What if I mess up that presentation? Second, your body's ancient survival system hears that and goes red alert. It floods you with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Third, all that fear chemistry completely short-circuits your clear-headed intuitive instinct. And finally, because the threat is just a thought, there's nothing to run from, nothing to fight, so you're just stuck in a loop of thought and fear with no way out.
And this is the big reframe. We spend so much energy trying to fix our negative thoughts, trying to replace them with positive thoughts. But that's just rearranging the furniture inside the trap. The source of the problem isn't the content of the story. It's the fact that we're trying to live our lives from the level of story in the first place instead of from reality.
Okay, so if we can't think our way out of a thinking problem, then what on earth do we do? Well, the way out is actually simpler than we think. It's about subtraction, not addition. It's about returning to a system inside you that already works perfectly.
And this really shows the two different paths you can take. The common approach is to just add more layers of mental control. Think better thoughts, build stronger habits, be more disciplined. But that's just more management from the thinking mind. The real solution, the one we're talking about, is to do the opposite.
You disengage from the story, you remove the mental interference, and you simply allow your natural instinctive intelligence to come back online.
This quote says it all, doesn't it? Your body knows how to heal itself. An ecosystem knows how to find its balance. Your life has its own innate intelligence that knows how to navigate whatever comes its way. The job isn't to figure it all out. The job is to stop interfering with the process.
And when you actually start to do this, the results are incredible and very real. Action starts to feel obvious, not like something you have to force with willpower. Big decisions start to become clear without you having to make endless pros and cons list. And as your body's stress chemistry finally drops, life it starts to feel less like a problem you have to solve, and more like a natural rhythm that you get to be a part of.
So we'll end with this question, and it's a powerful one to just sit with. Beneath all the layers of stories and worries and what-ifs, there is a life force in you that is already functioning, a system that already knows what to do. What would change for you if you just stopped trying to fix it and simply got out of its way? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.